Dayton, Ohio. Fourth and final first-round game of the day here in the Midwest region. Western Kentucky off to a 5-2 lead over Michigan. Chris Robinson started the scoring for Western with a three-pointer. Then Maurice Taylor scored from in close for Michigan. And Darius Hall on a backdoor play made it 5-2. Now it's Jimmy King at the free throw line after a foul on Darius Hall. And it's 5-3 for Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers here under first-year head coach Matt Kilcullen, who spent the last 3 years as head coach at Jacksonville in the same conference as Western Kentucky, the Sun Belt. And Steve Fisher, no stranger to the NCAA tournament. In his 6th full season, of course, the 7th season indicates when he took over in his first year just for the NCAA tournament and won the whole thing back in 1989. And for what was the Fab Five down to the Fab Two, this is the last go-round in the NCAA tournament for Ray Jackson and Jimmy King. Michael Fralick missed the three, and King came out of the pile with it. Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery, happy to have you with us here in Dayton. In transition, it's Ray Jackson, and Michigan leads for the first time 6-5.
Both clubs man-to-man, the Fab Two and the open court opportunity, Sean. Those two, if they play well, changes the outlook of this Michigan team. Jackson and King.
And Fralick short for two, rebounded by Maurice Taylor, the Big Ten freshman of the year. King had trouble with it, but got it back off the dive from Travis Conlon. This is Jackson, long three. And Fralick was tangled up with Conlon. He tipped it with his one free arm.
Pretty good check out.
Deion Jackson forward to the bucket. Two Wolverines there to reject it in Taylor and Njai, and they both had plenty to say about it as well.
And the referees are going to caution them, too. They don't want any of that, Tony, but that's a double. Send it out of here. Return to sender. You mentioned Conlon in the game. Terrific passer. Runs the offense a little better. Maybe loosens up King and Jackson.
This is Chris Robinson, the player of the year in the Sun Belt Conference. His bounce pass wasn't handled underneath originally, but it was by Horn. And the bucket counts for Darren Horn, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play.
Now, you mentioned Robinson with that three-point shot, Sean. He's a solid player. They feel he can get 25, 30 points. This pass into the post gets through, but it was a great look, and there's the guy. And for Western Kentucky, he has been a horn of plenty. Always in the right spot, Darren.
And the foul on King is first, and the first on Michigan. Horn, a senior from Lexington, Kentucky, out of Tates Creek High School, finishes the three-point play. Western by two. Great game. Alabama beat Penn in overtime. Most of you saw that. Kentucky throttled Mount St. Mary. And here in Dayton, it was Kansas with a struggle from Colgate. The Red Raiders got within 4 in the second half. Texas pulled away from Oregon. And a foul on Njai, his first.
King with the open look, soft enough to be followed.
And these scores from earlier in the day here in Dayton, Virginia, and Miami of Ohio, the winners. Then they'll meet on Saturday. And the winner of this game will take on Kansas here in Dayton on Saturday.
Concentrate on D. That's the big thing for Michigan, the whole set.
Robinson missed the three. Njai nearly had it batted away by his own man, Jimmy King. Njai has not practiced the last couple of days. He's had back spasms. But out there to start the game for Coach Fisher tonight.
And Steve Fisher feels he's improved offensively, too. Gives him another dimension besides Taylor down on the block.
Taylor kicked it back out to Conlon. Taylor, shot altered by Darius Hall. Conlon, will look away. Njai.
He's got a flow. I'll tell you, I love the way he passes the ball. Picks defenses apart.
8-8 the score. 4.5 minutes played.
They double on the box every opportunity. No matter who's down there, you've got to react, find the pass, or find the cutter, or kick it cross court.
Nice pass. Deion Jackson, the easy two off the feed from Darius Hall.
Basket number 12, Deion Jackson.
We expect a quick pace, and Matt Kilcullen deserves great credit. Ralph Willard had tremendous success at Western Kentucky. Kilcullen took over for him this year, kept everything in place. They play the same style.
Tells you the humility. I didn't want to disrupt a team, an experienced team, and in effect, they helped hire him.
The players, the entire team for Western Kentucky, they were on the selection committee that selected Matt Kilcullen. Offensive foul, back in a moment. Roy Williams can relax and enjoy this game. His Kansas Jayhawks have already advanced to the second round with their win earlier tonight over Colgate. And Roy's team will meet the winner of this one on Saturday here in Dayton. 10-8 to score. Western Kentucky with the lead and the ball after the offensive foul on Maurice Taylor.
And Sean Rogers in the game. What a solid performer. Can score, penetrate, find people. Helps Western Kentucky's half-court set.
Jeff Rogers wears number 10. Pop Thornton is also in for Western Kentucky wearing 42. There's Rogers. It's the three-point try. Inside the rebound. Then he traveled. Mark Reichling, James Armstrong, and John Cowell are the officials working this one. Earlier today here in Dayton, Miami of Ohio upset Arizona. They'll take on Virginia, a winner over Nicholls State. Robinson missed a three on the inbound play.
Good post pass and a cut.
And Njai's pass was deflected into the hands of Rogers. He was a real spark off the bench in Western Kentucky's win in the Sun Belt Conference Final over Arkansas Little Rock. That rattled out for Rogers, rebounded by Conlon.
You can see he's a great scorer. Nice run here for Fife.
And he missed the layup. Tipped up and in on the follow by Maurice Taylor, the freshman from Detroit.
That was a great play, by the way. Full extension, the soft touch with the left hand.
Aaron Horn gets the leader to go.
Now, you mentioned Ralph Willard. This is what he used to like to do. Full court press, they continue it. Try and rush you into some mistakes, get it in the wrong hands on occasion.
And we saw what Steve Fisher said was his biggest concern there from Horn. He said Western Kentucky is great at the shot fake and the dribble drive to score.
Oh, this is Steve's time of year, right? NCAA, his team usually steps up.
Dugan Fife lost in traffic but got it back. They're down to 8 on the shot clock. Njai has to take it, and he made it.
And what a nice cut. He bailed out Fife. Good cut to the elbow. If he doesn't have the shot, he can look underneath.
For those of you who will be seeing Tulane and BYU tonight, we'll be sending you to that game shortly. Tip time is 10:17, about 6 minutes from now. And we'll get you there in time for the start of that one. In Memphis, in the southeast region. Here it's 12-12, Western Kentucky and Michigan, and Horn breaks the tie with 12:27 left in the first half.
Now, he's a great competitor. I saw him early in the year against UMass. Didn't have one of his typical games and had a wonderful year for this club. Taking advantage of situations. Got caught behind the screen, knocked it down. Oh, experience, huh? Find the hole, Ray, as Jackson slips in.
Steve Fisher said yesterday Ray Jackson has been his most consistent and best performer all year, and he's been the leader of this team from the first day of practice. He has 4 points tonight. Horn left alone for a three. Njai, the rebound in traffic, and he was fouled by Pop Thornton.
And how about the kick-out pass before he went down? Steadily improving.
First foul on Thornton. Timeout. Michigan and Western Kentucky tied at 14. And we hope you enjoyed the Michigan band. 4 ties in this game and 2 lead changes. For those of you who will be seeing Drexel and Oklahoma State and Gonzaga and Maryland, there are your tip times, 10:27, 10:28. respectively, and we'll send you out there in time for those games, to Baltimore and Salt Lake City.
And you notice Michigan handling the pressure in pieces, portions of the floor.
Jackson's pass wasn't handled down low. Taylor picked it up, then missed the shot. Maceo Baston into the game, and it's a held ball. Baston got his hands on it. And Matt Kilcullen didn't like that call. Michigan shooting 50% and out rebounding Western Kentucky 13-3, but still they're in a tie game at 14-all.
Great offensive rebounding team, Michigan. That's very important. And Western Kentucky keep them off the glass.
Rogers, 3-on-2 break. And he decided to pull it out. Fralick's great three-point shooter. Drains it.
That he is. Everybody pushes back to the 3-second lane. They sort of rest around the arc.
His first bucket of the night. 148 career threes now for Fralick's, one shy of the school record set by Roland Shelton. Mitchell, Willie missed it from in close, and Baston was over the back on the rebound. His first foul.
Willie, known for his offense, didn't convert that, but you can see the position. Baston gets nailed for it, Sean, but they understand. They got to get in there. They usually turn, hold off. They become the aggressor on the offensive end.
Steve Fisher turns 50 years old in 10 days.
And this kind of year preseason would make you look older, huh? And there's that little wrap around the arc and a knockdown by Michael. Stands on records from the three-point line.
Western by 3. Derek Flowers is in the game wearing number 40. And Carl Thomas was checked in for Western wearing number 20. They're a deep team, and all 5 starters have scored already for the Hilltoppers. Thornton threw it away. That's the first turnover by Western Kentucky tonight. It took them 9.5 minutes to commit one. Thornton goes out, replaced by Chris Robinson. On the inbound 2-on-1, Michigan King blocking foul. The call on Darius Hall, a senior from Detroit who has played a lot of basketball against some of the Michigan players in the past. And I was talking with Tom Crean last night, who was on the staff at Western and recruited Darius Hall. He's now with Ralph Wilder Pitt. He said Michigan had some brief interest in Darius during the recruiting process.
And why not? And there he's going over the top of the press for the first time and getting a 2-on-1 opportunity.
That would have been the Fab Six if Darius Hall had gone to Michigan with the rest of that class.
They wouldn't have much room with that team, would they? And they said as they fly around now and go to different cities, it's not the same reaction. I mean, they were like rock stars, that group. As they would enter the city, great group followings. In fact, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, in the sale of merchandise has been #1 because of the interest nationally, and much of it created by the Fab Five. They do have a pretty good football program.
Yes, they do. Steve Fisher said yesterday, we win in everything. It's an all-round athletic program at Michigan. King missed 2. Steve Fisher says King has had an okay year, but not as good a year as they would have hoped.
Now, Flyers not as aggressive, or Rogers with the basketball, not as aggressive as I have seen it, particularly in that University of Arkansas Little Rock game.
Midway through the first half, 10 on the shot clock. Western Kentucky with the ball up by 3. They're the number 8 seed. Michigan the 9 seed. Foul, count it. First bucket for Derek Flowers, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
Now that's more like it, Jam. Get it into that 3-second area. Strong inside play is exactly what Derek is known for, as Jeff Rogers on the money. And that was a late little call. Late in the shot clock, a lot of guys have a special play. Often it's the pick and roll as it winds down.
2 fouls on Maurice Taylor, who goes to the bench, replaced by Maktar Injal. Derek Flowers, senior from Dothan, Alabama. Speech communications major. Completes the 3-point play. And Western has a 6-point lead. Its largest.
Collins done a nice job handling the pressure, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Gets it to the right spot. Doesn't rush thing. Excellent passer.
Travis Conlon, freshman from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. In jive, long range, wouldn't go. And it was controlled by Jackson. Rogers fouled by Willie Mitchell, trying to block it from behind. He got a piece of the arm of Jeff Rogers.
The more you watch Deion Jackson, offensive end, he'll slide in and out of that post area. Defensively, a tough rebounder, solid contributor.
Number 21, Ray Jackson. In the line.
First foul on Mitchell, 6 on Michigan. And the next one will put them over the limit. And Jeff Rogers is at the line. He was on the Sun Belt All-Tournament team this year. We mentioned that he came off the bench in the championship game against Arkansas Little Rock to score season-high 18 points. He needed a big steal in the final seconds to seal the win. Starting times for those two games approaching, and we'll get you there on time. And Drexel is another one of those seeds, a 13 seed, that you better look out for.
No, I'm laughing only because Billy Hurry, who we've both been fortunate to do their games, a New England guy, and I'm always teasing about that Boston area. But
so what do you say, he has no shot?
Malik Rose, no, I'm just trying to point a little finger at you. But a great rebounder in Rose, and the reach in here by Robinson. And after that first three-pointer, he's been silent. They got to get him in the offense.
It's his first foul.
Robinson, that's his first, team's fifth.
Matt Kilcullen, 41 years old, native of the Bronx, spent 6 years as an assistant to Digger Phelps at Notre Dame.
And he still looks healthy.
Jackson bumped on the drive by Horn, and that's 2 on Horn. Well, you're right. I always do take care of my fellow New Englanders, and Bill Harrion, the coach at Drexel, is a Massachusetts native. The only game left in Baltimore today, Oklahoma State and Drexel. Drexel, the champions of the North Atlantic Conference, and that's a good league. Their power rating this year was 16 out of 33 in the country.
That Alabama-Penn game, we saw little glimpses of that one.
No wonder Billy Packer wanted to go to Baltimore. They had some terrific action there today. Lobbied for it on the selection show and got the trip to Baltimore. And the Wolverines turned it over. The 6th turnover committed against Matt Kilcullen's team. Matt's the first coach in NCAA Division I history to earn Coach of the Year honors in back-to-back seasons while coaching 2 different teams in the same league. Last year at Jacksonville, won 17 games as the Sun Belt Coach of the Year. This year, the Conference Coach of the Year at Western.
And their defense has been tough. Nice little rub on the little flex cut, and Robinson unable to hold on. But Michigan not getting points down on the box. And that's guys that have been strong on the defensive end.
.8:20 left first half. Western Kentucky leads by 8. Michigan's gone 3.5 minutes without scoring. Njai. Rebound, Deion Jackson. He's the nephew of Kenny Jackson, former standout wide receiver with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Run a little clock here, and Michigan occasionally will be impatient on the defensive end.
Robinson well off the mark. King looks to push. 3-on-2 at the moment. Conlon spots up for 3.
That's what he has to do. Take that shot when he's in the flow and just run the clock. Good push by Michigan.
Conlon only averages 1.3 points per game. Njai threw it away after the block. Rogers not afraid of the tall trees, and King rebounded.
Should have been.
King tried to bounce it, and it was kicked out of bounds by the Hilltoppers. 7:17 remaining first half. Western Kentucky with a 5-point lead.
As find the line and spot up, you're going to just see this opportunity made because the big guys run the floor. Drag the D, all of a sudden you got the ability in the secondary phase to knock it down. If the miss occurs, tip and follow.
Just the 13th field goal of the season for Conlon in this his 27th game. Baston's pass deflected by Robinson and taken away by Fralix. Western Kentucky has a 5-point lead as we tick down towards 7 minutes remaining in the first half. First round action of the Midwest region here in Dayton. As you check out scores of other games, and there have been some terrific games throughout the country today on day 1 of the 1995 tournament. Robinson for 3.
The great thing for Western Kentucky, and you think Michigan would be able to handle it, the doubling on the box. Now, Michigan sees it every day in practice. They're not doing a good job finding people or cutting to a hole to receive a pass.
Robinson with 6 points on a pair of three-pointers, and that's a two-pointer from the top of the key for Ray Jackson. He has 6 in the game. He went over the 1,000-point mark earlier in the season at Northwestern in mid-January, and then when all 5 members of the Fab Five scored 1,000 points. Jackson shoved in the back by Fralick, who got away with it, but still got the goal.
You are absolutely right. Should have been at the line. Michigan stepping it up on D.
King the intercept. Jackson blocked the call. Jackson wanted a lob, but Jackson wouldn't put it up there for him.
Alexa, they're holding on to it a little too long, but just terrific defense setting up a little Coos move, and there's that shove into your living room as Michael Fralick figures, why not give it up? They may not call it. This is just terrific grasp of what pass to deliver. Oh, and that's why they're called the Fab 2.
Well, Coach Fisher thought King might be particularly effective in this game tonight because he is excellent in the open floor. Jackson didn't get the bounce on the first of 2. That foul put Western Kentucky over the limit. It was on Deion Jackson his first. Western leads by 4 despite being outshot 47% to 39. 1 out of 2 on that trip to the line for Ray Jackson, the senior from Austin, Texas. Dugan Fife back in for Michigan, and Travis Conlon has taken a seat.
Pretty good effort by Conlon, too. Very sound in his approach. Michigan creeping back in, maybe rushing on the other end for Western Kentucky offensively.
The largest lead for the Hilltoppers, 8 points. It's down to 3, under 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Thornton was double-teamed. Steve Fisher's teams have always done that at Michigan. That goes back when he was a high school coach in Illinois.
He was a real small team. Not a good look right there. And was forced to do it.
Fralick poked it away from King. Now it's 4-on-1. Thornton challenged by Njai, who might have gotten a piece of it. Fralick for 3, and it spins out to Deion Jackson.
They are getting after it on the glass, Sean.
Thornton lost control, got it back. 25 on the shot clock. Ticking down to 5 minutes left in the half. Western Kentucky with a 3-point lead over Michigan. Jackson the pull-up. Rogers sneaks in for the board and blocked by Njai.
Oh, judgment has to prevail in there, those little guys.
King passed up a 3. Fife backed it out. There's been some speculation in the Detroit area that Steve Fisher has instructed Fife not to shoot. He says that's not so. He's told him to take the shots if they're open. Mitchell missed a 3-point try that would have tied it. Here comes Fralick.
That's what Mitchell's in there for. Knock down those shots. He's a scorer.
Robinson for 3.
Taking advantage. Everybody dropped back for Michigan.
Robinson has 9 points on 3 3-pointers. Earlier in the season, he had a 40-point game and a home win over South Alabama. First 40-point game by a Hilltopper at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green, Kentucky in 30 years.
See how they handle that post if it gets inside, John. They've done a terrific job now. They leave him alone now. Come late with the double.
Fife took the shot. King makes the 3.
If he and Jackson become sound and consistent, they could lead this club. A couple of weeks is all you need.
There's certainly a lot of talent on this Michigan team. It's been a season-long process of the freshmen and sophomores blending with the 2 remaining members of the Fab Five. The layup wouldn't go for Chris Robinson. 3 to tie for Michigan. King goes for it and gets it.
Let him loose. Not getting out on the shooters too well. All the scrambling into full court. You must rush back and identify.
We thought this would be a fun game to watch up and down, and it has been. Robinson a 3. King the rebound. Under 3 minutes left of the first half. Western Kentucky and Michigan tied at 28. King.
Well, they've got to do a better job forcing a half-court game. Western Kentucky gets the timeout.
Jimmy King has 10, and he has led the Wolverines to the lead by by 2.
Now they're playing hail to the victors there in Dayton as Michigan has grabbed its first lead of the game against Western Kentucky. And let's take a late evening stroll around the country. Tulane and BYU playing at the Pyramid. The winner gets Kentucky. Here's a steal by the Green Wave, and Tulane is down 1 against the Cougars in that one.
BYU, a big team, big front line. Roberts 5 of 5 so far from the floor for 10 points. It's a matter of whether Tulane can play an open court game and negate some of that size advantage that BYU has.
All right, so a 1-point lead by BYU in that one. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, timeout, and they're over 4 minutes into the game, and it's 2-0. Drexel not on the board. The Dragons haven't scored, and 2 for Big Country and company. What do you expect in this game tonight?
Well, I would hope one of these teams would thaw out a little bit. I mean, 4-32, and we've got 2 points. But obviously, they're going to try to get Rutherford and Big Country established for Oklahoma State. Malik Rose, the key guy for Drexel.
The winner of that game gets Alabama on Saturday, and now Gonzaga and Maryland. I have 15 minutes and change to go first half, and Maryland blitzing to a 15-6 lead. Gonzaga in its first tournament appearance ever. So we'll keep you posted with these games, plus more live look-ins coming up at halftime. But right now, back to Dayton with the Wolverines up 6.
Thank you, Jim. They're up 6 because their run continues. They scored 4 points while we were looking at other action. Jackson scored in close. King scored in transition. It's a 17-3 run for Michigan at the moment.
And off the defense, too, Sean. They've been terrific in analyzing the set of Western Kentucky to give back. They've run 2 or 3 great 2-on-1 breaks. Solid for Steve Fisher.
We talked about this being the last go-around for the remaining members of the Fab Five, now the Fab Two. And they're determined to go out with a bang. King tonight, 12 points already, and Jackson has 11. They've combined for 23 of the 34 Michigan points.
Now, Western Kentucky likes to press, and in what it's done, it's given open floor opportunities. I think they got to make Michigan use half-court offense. Make them run their stuff. See if you can cause them to be impatient. Here's the triple.
Baston out for King. Minute 20 left in the half. 20 to shoot for Michigan. Jackson.
Not so much for that philosophy.
He has 13. Western Kentucky led 25-17. Michigan has gone from being down 8 to up 8 with a minute left in the half.
Jackson's been very active off the ball. That's helped their half-court look, too.
Rallies. They needed that 3 to turn the momentum. He has 6. About 7 seconds difference between the game clock, which you see, and the shot clock. Michigan has hit its last 6 shots from the field.
Baston with Fralick. Nice read by Jackson.
And he stepped on the end line. Coming up at the half, Jim and Clark with more live look-ins of other action and scores and highlights from all the day's first round games. Western Kentucky can hold for the final shot. The shot clock is off. They're down by 5.
A good opportunity here for Robinson. Turn the corner or take the jumper.
Robinson too strong off the glass. A couple of tips.
Oh, they're going to wipe it off. He was active enough. 4 to go.
Wow.
Well,
I'm not sure about that one.
It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Matty needs a break, huh?
Jackson trying to throw the length of the floor. They have time for a heave from Deion Jackson. And that's it. The end of the first half, the score, Michigan 36, Western Kentucky 31. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Sponsored by Enzoil, an official NCAA corporate partner.
One appeared to be out of the cylinder, and yet it was waved off by the outside official, James Armstrong, and Matt Kilcullen said, no way. And I think the coach had a point. His team down by 5 at the half, and was really build the kind of half we expected from these two teams, the way Western Kentucky plays with their pressing and trapping. Well, it goes up and down.
The big thing, I think, if they play half-court defense, they're better off. Keep Michigan from that wide-open basketball. It's helped feed the Fab 2.
Michigan by 5. More from Dayton in a moment. In the first half combined to go 10 for 13, leading Michigan to the 56% field goal percentage. They also out-rebounded Western by 9. Well, Chris Robinson had an interesting half. 3 of 6 from three-point range for Western. 0 for 6 in two-point.
And he had some good opportunities, too, Sean.
Western's ball to open the second half. Michael Freilich guarded by Jimmy King. Hall. Good ball movement. Horn for 3.
Sure was. Right on the money. The extra pass. And they still stay with the full court. Now, that's a three-quarter court kind of a trap. I think he's going to force Michigan to play this end, and Horn knows it's so tempting, ends up with the tag. You like this, huh? Red Holzman, move the ball, hit the open man, and react to the double. Nice looking diagonal, and Robinson, who can score. That's what makes him such a special player, willing to concede and kick it around the horn.
And Horn has committed 3 fouls now. 19:20 remaining. Michigan by 2. Western Kentucky went 9 minutes plus without a turnover. Then the last 11 minutes of the half turned it over 7 times as Michigan went on the run. Jackson bounces to the bucket for 2.
Boy, not much reaction defensively as they kicked it to the weak side.
Jackson is 15. That's his average per game for the season. He's the leading scorer this year for Michigan. Freilich for 3. Rebound wound up right in the hand of Robinson. He couldn't grab it. He kicked it out of bounds.
Everybody checked out perfectly. Nobody reacted to the basketball. Now, you mentioned Matt's history. New York City kid, assistant coach under Digger, and a great job at both Jacksonville and Western K. And following a guy that did a pretty fair job. That's not easy. Matt Willard.
Other game. Drexel hanging in there with Oklahoma State. Taylor to miss. And on the end line was Ray Jackson. And Western Kentucky to inbound. Minute and a half into the second half. The Hilltoppers trail by 4.
Bruce Mate, the SID for Michigan, I saw him at halftime. He said, see what happens when our seniors play like that? And they're a different basketball team when King and Jackson are on the money.
And they're playing a team that comes into the tournament red hot. Horn buries another 3. It's a one-point game. Hilltoppers enter the NCAA tournament having won 12 in a row. Their last loss was at Tulsa February 4th. They've also won 24 of their last 25. Only 3 losses all year. At 26-3, at Jacksonville, at UMass, at Tulsa.
At 1-3-1, they're driving the gaps and kicking.
Jackson. King pushed off. He snared the rebound, but used the push to get it. And for Jimmy, that's foul number 2.
The way Horn is shooting the ball, I think we should go to the chapel service. Some good things might happen to us.
Aaron Horn, very religious fellow, and he frequently leads the team chapel service. They have one on every game day. Of course, our friend and colleague Digger Phelps talking about running for president in 2004. Maxwell Collins says Darren Horn should be his vice president. He's such a quality human being.
I think Darren wants to win, though.
You don't give Digger much of a shot?
Well, he might have divided votes in the House.
You mean his house?
His own home.
House of Representatives. Robinson missed from in close.
Pretty good reaction defensively.
Robinson's now 3 of 13 from the floor, but Western within 1 without much from their star. And Jackson controls. Western Kentucky with a chance to take the lead. They last led at 28-25 with 3:45 left in the first half.
A little more passive as they get the inside foul. They give it to Njai. But you notice Western Kentucky over half court and it's settling back in. Now Michigan, a little more stress on the jump shot. That free flow not existing.
Michigan foul number 3, Nectar.
Njai's foul, his second on Michigan here in the second half. University of Dayton Arena, sellout crowd, better than 13,000, watching the final game of the 4 played here today, and watching Taylor reject Darius Hall.
Rearrange that suit.
Second block shot for Maurice Taylor in the game. He's the third Michigan player to be the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Gary Grant and Chris Webber the others. Michigan by one. Taylor with the steal for the Wolverines. In an up-and-down game, King missed a three-point try, foul on the rebound action on Darius Hall of Western Kentucky, and that is his third. So Horn has three, and now Hall has three for the Hilltoppers. Kansas beat Colgate here earlier tonight. The Jayhawks await the winner of this one. Miami of Ohio upset Arizona in the first game of the day here, and Virginia eliminated Nicholls State. Second round action here in Dayton on Saturday. Baston takes the inbound. Jackson
did not get out on it.
He was alone for a long time. They never really did run at him. It's a 2-point field goal and a 3-point lead for Michigan.
Michigan's been doubling off Baston when he gets to the box.
Horn. I don't know if that was a shot attempt or a pass, but it hit the side of the backboard. 2-on-1. Jackson to finish, and Jackson and King have really hurt Western Kentucky in the transition game tonight.
Some combo, that's their game. You let them go like that, they're going to dictate tempo. They're going to get some confidence. You've got to take good shots, don't turn it over, and be solid in your half-court defense.
You mentioned that Western came into the tournament on a roll, having won 12 in a row. Robinson buries a three. Michigan, not particularly hot. 7-7 over their last 14 games entering the tournament. They ended the regular season losing 2 out of 3.
Would you suggest they get into Chris Robinson's hands?
Yes.
He's the kind of a kid you say, I wish you'd be a little more selfish. He's a prolific scorer when he wants to be. Plays within the system.
Michigan by 2. 15-20 remaining in regulation play. The three rimmed out for Jackson. Chris Robinson with it. His dad, Walter Daniels, terrific player at Georgia in the mid-70s, all SEC player. Western Kentucky will inbound when we come back to Dayton in a moment. Lead, 15 minutes remaining here in Dayton. The Fab 2 leading the way. Seniors Ray Jackson and Jimmy King. They've combined for 31 of the 42 Michigan points. Jackson has scored all 6 Michigan points here in the second half, and he's 9 of 14 from the floor tonight.
You feel like you're coaching when your seniors play like that. I mean, it's a good lift for Steve Fisher and his guys. And you can do some maneuvering.
Western Kentucky has gone cold, 1 for the last 6 from the floor, but they're only down by 2, trailed by 5 at the half.
Good perimeter D, forces the kick.
Fralick bidding for the lead, missed it. Deion Jackson had trouble on the dribble and then was fouled on a reach-in. And it's against Willie Mitchell, the freshman from Detroit, Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan last year. 13-3. The record for Jimmy King and Ray Jackson in the NCAA tournament. They've been to 2 Final Fours.
They haven't been on spring break in years.
This is the 17th NCAA game, obviously, for those two. And that's a Michigan record. The all-time record, 22 by
Michigan League.
Good for you, Ralph. Even after 4 games and about 12 hours in the arena, you still come up with it. Fralick for the lead. And Jackson had it knocked out of bounds. Still Western Kentucky's ball.
The more you look at Western Kentucky, Deion Jackson gets his hands on balls he doesn't deserve. And Matt Kilcullen, whose mom, obviously St. Patrick's Day, wanted to give her her best up in New York.
That's Eileen.
Yeah, Eileen, very disappointed that he can't be together with the family, but what better to do than be in the NCAA?
6 minutes played. Second half. Michigan by 2. Fralick almost had his 3rd opportunity for a 3-pointer to give the Hilltoppers the lead. 15 on the shot clock.
Now, Michigan's been solid defensively. They got to finish it with a rebound.
Oh, King stepped in, intercept the pass by Robinson. King in transition. Didn't get the roll on the rim, but he'll shoot a pair. as he was fouled by Deion Jackson.
Now, Maceo Baston is a freshman, or if he was a sophomore or junior, he might say something. Jimmy, give me the basketball in the open floor. And here's the quick hands of one of the senior contributors, Jimmy King. And at the other end, I thought he should have given it up for a slam by Maceo Baston.
Number 14, Michael Fralick.
Fralick's out, and Horn has replaced him. Horn back in with 3 fouls. Jimmy King, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in this game. And Steve Fisher was right. In an open floor game, which he expected against Western Kentucky, King is more likely to be effective. Former Mr. Basketball in the state of Texas from Plano in the Dallas area. With his performance tonight, he's moved past Jawan Howard into 11th place all-time in scoring at Michigan. Now 1,533 career points for Jimmy King.
Tough responsibility here for Conlon on Horn. Nice help.
Baston rejected the shot. There's King running the floor again. And it went in.
Should have scored the first goal.
All kinds of activity around the rim. It did look like it could have been called a goaltend against Western. That looked like a Michigan player was in the cylinder as the ball was coming down through.
And forgotten it. What a great look by TC, Travis Conlon.
And the lead goes back to 6. And a foul. Taylor hit Jackson as he went up strong, and there's some woofing underneath, but now they offer the hand to each other.
A little summit meeting just to straighten things out, and right in the middle, who other than Deion Jackson. Unbelievable delivery. Forces King to stretch it out. I thought that was on the way down. What did you think? Did you like the call?
It was tough to tell. Of course, it's a different rule between college and pro. You can block it off the backboard in college as long as the ball is not on the way down, and that must have been what the officials deemed.
And King with an acrobatic release at the end there. They like to woo-woo. Push it up and down.
Back in the lineup for Michigan, number 3,
Makhtar Njai returns. And Maurice Taylor goes out. 7 minutes played, second half. Michigan by 5 after the missed free throw. That was their lead at halftime. Each team has scored 10 points here in the second half.
The 2-3 look, and they trap out of it as well, Sean. Nice pinch here. Not a bad little pull of the string here. Make them work.
Baston, the offensive rebound. And that's out of bounds off Horn. Let's check in with Bob Lobel.
All right, Sean McDonough, we're in the Michigan section right now with the King family. That's the King family from Plano, Texas. Jimmy King Sr. and Mrs. King, Naoka King, Jimmy's mother, right? Obviously, Mr. King, your son has had a great first half, and as he goes, Michigan seems to go.
Well, yeah, he seems to want the ball now, and I think that that's what they want him to do. So, you know, he's a senior. He wants to take control.
Well, he rose to another level in that first half. Naoka, this whole run for you, this great postseason of tournaments that you've been in, a number of games, it's all coming to an end soon.
Oh, yeah, I regret that, but it has been a very funful 4 years.
Hard to imagine a college experience more than what your son has been able to get through this University of Michigan basketball program. I mean, he has been there, done it all.
Yeah, without a doubt. With the group that left, with Jalen, Chris, and Jawan, and plus all the people that he was able to meet, and plus the alumni, Jimmy's had a nice run for 4 years.
Okay, thanks to you, Naoka and Jimmy King, and let's go back to Sean.
Thank you, Bob. It has been quite a run. 13-3 through the tournament. Of course, as freshmen, we're the first team to go into the tournament with an all-freshman starting 5.
And Makhtar, he actually had him free his arm. Nice little post pass to the big guy.
Michigan had made only one of its last 7 shots before that one by Njai, and the lead is 7.
And they get the hold inside.
Baston called for wrapping up Deion Jackson.
It's tough to catch one-handed in here, but Mokhtar had to free that right hand, but the lead to the hole as the big guy's able to finish.
We'll return to Dayton in a moment. Street back at the University of Dayton Arena, Dayton, Ohio. First-round action in the Midwest region. Michigan with a 7-point lead. They led by 5 at halftime. They have not committed a turnover this half. While Western Kentucky has shot 25% from the field this half. That's not the formula for a comeback for the Hilltoppers.
No, and good defense. Ray Jackson now on Robinson, a guy that haven't been able to get loose, really.
Darren Horn, short from three-point range for Western Kentucky, and another rebound for Jimmy King, his 9th. King gave it off to Baston.
Somebody's got to stop the dribble. All the way to the goal.
And this is the largest lead for Michigan, 9 points as we tick down to 11 minutes remaining. Robinson for 3. Njai, the one-handed rebound, and he got called for a foul.
Remember Steve Fisher say that his arms get tangled up, he gets some flailing fouls. Good personality, known for his emotion, but right here nobody contests the dribble. The dish at the end, terrific, but Jimmy King wide open all the way down the floor. He's got to step up to the top of the key and prevent the dribble penetration.
3 fouls now on Njai. He's from Senegal. His father, a Senegalese diplomat in Paris. His mother competed in the 1976 Olympics in the 200 meters. And Rogers bumped as he went to drive by Jimmy King, and that's 3 on King. And that's 17 fouls, so the Wolverines are over the limit. They've outshot Western Kentucky by 18% here in the second half, and really it's the 3-point field goals for the game keeping Western in this one. The rest of their stats are abysmal.
And the flow of the game conducive to the Michigan style. I mean, they've got their confidence now. They're able to run the floor, find people, do some dribble penetration. King and Jackson have been sensational. They can't afford another one on Jimmy King because it might change the flow of the game. He's actually been playing some point, running the show out there.
Rogers, senior, he's down the road in Cincinnati, made 1 out of 2. Baston cleared the miss. 10:40 remaining. Western Kentucky's gone over 5 minutes now without a field goal. They've missed their last 6 from the floor.
They were 1-3-1 now. Luke changed from the 2-3.
The lob, and the slam by Jackson.
Oh, by Jackson. Now they read that 1-3-1 beautifully.
Robinson didn't get the bounce. King, 3 on 2 across midcourt.
Is he taking over? Big time. Stop, square, and knocked down.
16 points for King. 12-point lead for Michigan, the largest for the Wolverines. It comes midway through the second half.
Conlon in the left part of your picture. Nice little pass to the glass, and Jackson able to go up strong and convert. I mean, this is a pretty back screen set up against the 1-3-1. Great analysis, and that's why Conlon's getting more and more minutes. Has a nice feel and delivers on the money.
Steve Fisher was positively bubbly yesterday when we talked about Travis Conlon's future.
Now, this is why coaches are different. In December, he wasn't sure. Saw him against Duke early in the year, but he's a baby. I mean, a youngster in the game at this exalted level.
Rogers for 3. Western still cold. They might have gotten away with one there. Hall to Robinson.
Well, they need some action. Now they go back to their original game plan. Harass the inbound passer, get a trap, and step up.
6 minutes and 16 seconds between field goals for Western Kentucky. They're down 10 with 9:20 remaining. These are women's scores as the NCAA tournament is underway for the women as well. Njai tied up with Jackson. And Michigan will play it in with 18 on the shot clock.
Well, getting after it is something Western Kentucky's done all year long. They get a little bit of a break here, and then the release and the strong send it in, which set up their press, but they got no secondary action out of him as Robinson converts.
Injai the miss. King is 11th rebound, a season high. He has his first double-double of the year tonight. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists for Jimmy King.
Jimmy King of the court this evening. Got to score quickly, get your quick hitters.
And Robinson was bumped as he looked to drive. Maceo Baston bumped him, and that's 3 on the freshman from Dallas. 18 fouls against Michigan in the second half. Now you can follow CBS Sports in cyberspace. Go interactive, be an insider during the tournament. Check out what you'll be seeing and when. It's a first from CBS on Prodigy and CBS on the World Wide Web. You on the web?
I'm told I am. My quotes are probably coming from somebody else. Maceo, a guy that will have a terrific future, real solid in that block area. And when you do go after and contest shots, you've got to learn not to get the body on people. Get them from the side.
Robinson made the first of a 1-and-1. He's a junior from Macon, Georgia.
Miraculous recovery from that hip surgery early in the year. And the one compliment the coaches gave, particularly Matt, is how he just tries to stay within the framework of the offense.
Max Capone said his unselfishness is a big reason why we've won 26 games. He's alert to the double teams and picks it out for the open jumpers, and they have guys who can knock them in.
Nice cut again. You see, he understands. Raymond, they double. Get yourself into an area. Now, if the double comes off of you, it's rather simple. Go to the goal. The seniors stepping up, showing their experience at postseason time. The dribble away draws the D, opens up a little clearer path. The release and smooch. On the money for Ray.
The officials indicated the fouls on number 23. That's what the public address announcer said. But there is no number 23. And now they corrected it. It's on Fralick, his first. Only the 4th on the Hilltoppers. Jackson completes the three-point play. And Michigan has its largest lead. 14 points, 8:20 remaining. Michigan entered the tournament at 17-13. Steve Fisher said for the first time since he's been the head coach, he had to sweat out whether or not they'd be in the tournament. He wasn't certain they'd get a bid. They missed it one time during Fisher's tenure, but he knew they weren't going to go that year.
And nice play by Collins. Dribble the people away, then find someone.
Not only are they looking at a team that should be in the field, they're looking at a team that could do some damage with the way they're playing against a very good Western Kentucky team tonight.
It was almost like the Indiana game when they played real well. I mean, just solid all ends, and the noticeable difference, the ability of King and Jackson, I mean, makes everybody else a lot better.
Horn had an open three but lost the grip. Rogers had an open three and found the net.
The secondary trap is killing them. They got too many people up. It turns into a fast break. And fortunately, it's Maktar Njai on the wing who's not going to take it with the dribble.
7:20 remaining. Michigan by 9.
Jackson so good cutting.
Mad scramble along the near sideline. It'll be Western Kentucky ball.
And Ray Jackson's smiling because the hustle by Taylor unnecessary because he had thrown it off a defender. Oh.
That's the first Michigan turnover this half. Dugan Fife returns. Jimmy King gets a breather. It'll probably be a brief
for stretch time. Yep.
Number 24, Jimmy King.
Western Kentucky has scored the last 5 points. They've gotten the deficit back down to single digits. Time becoming a factor now. 7 minutes remaining in Dayton, Ohio.
Darius Hall doing the two-step out there.
Jackson, 15 on the shot clock.
And Robinson comes outside. He wasn't getting a touch on the block.
And no basket. Rogers fouled before the shot. He'll shoot a 1-and-1. Foul was on Fife, his second. Michigan dominating on the boards.
Yes, Rogers at the
Rogers at the free throw line, 1-and-1.
and 1.
So it was an interesting tidbit. All 3 losses for Western Kentucky have been on the ice.
That's right. They've been played in arenas where there is ice underneath the basketball floor at Jacksonville, at Massachusetts, and at Tulsa.
And they were delighted to see that the ice was removed here. All-American and college. Junior college, I should. Kaskaskia.
7-point game. They were down 14 moments ago, but they've run off 7 straight points.
And here comes the trap. Nice little camouflage.
And they turn it over. Robinson to steal. With their style, they can get back at it very quickly. Robinson didn't get it. And the rebound, Njai. And he lost it. And Darius Hall laid it in.
I think it didn't go out of bounds yet. Darius Hall picked it up and shot it again. It's almost like a drill to him.
And Steve Fisher is saying that should be a technical. The officials say no. Now they have trouble getting it in. And a foul called on Chris Robinson for holding one of the Wolverines who would have been the target of the inbounding pass. That's only 2 personals on Robinson and 5 on the team this half.
And also they had a foul on Rogers and Conlon on the other side. Njai never had control here. Fortunate not to get the other bump as he lost the basketball.
Timeout. Back in a moment.
Fine, you're just going to see in the back here the ability to step in. Here comes the trap as Horn doubles up, and now poor vision, and Chris Robinson able to ignite this little run right now by Western Kentucky.
That was one of the few examples tonight of Western Kentucky giving Michigan problems with its pressure. For the most part, Michigan has capitalized by scoring often in transition. Picking down to 6 minutes remaining here in Dayton. Michigan moments ago led 59-45. Now it's 59-54. Western on a 9-0 run and with the ball.
And feeding Western Kentucky with poor shot selection. First Taylor, and that time Njai.
Aaron Horn, 20 on the shot clock. 15 to shoot. Rogers shut off on the penetration. With 5 on the shot clock, Horn, it rattles out to King.
And a leak out, Sean.
13th rebound for King, and Taylor takes advantage.
Now the big guys run. First, they can set up if there's no shot. If the defense doesn't react and they're looking to press, nobody balanced the floor.
Big bucket for Michigan. They had gone 3 minutes without scoring, and they'd watched Western Kentucky climb back within 5. That was a big sequence. Horn the miss, and then Taylor the easy one at the other end.
And they're forcing Robinson to do a lot of dribbling on the perimeter.
Robinson, rainbow 2-pointer. Back to a 5-point game. 17 in the ball game for Chris Robinson.
Better get it in.
Michigan just used one of its timeouts. The Wolverines have 2 remaining. King has had a terrific ball game in every respect. First double-double of the season, and has been brilliant in running the floor.
Really helps off the ball, too, because Conlon can relax. Nice look by Conlon again. Huh. Where was the D?
Njai was all alone. Michigan by 7. Rogers, the handoff for the finish by Deion Jackson.
He's incredible. A quick elevation and a nice little penetration by Rogers.
And they throw it ahead to King for the easy 2. And if you've just joined us, that's an idea of what has happened throughout much of this night. Michigan has done a terrific job beating the Western Kentucky pressure.
Once they get over the top, it's been a fast break opportunity. This judgment has to prevail.
Hall took it under and scored nonetheless, and now they're matching baskets. Still a 5-point lead for Michigan with 3.5 remaining. Here comes King again. Foul on the drive. And it's just the 16th foul on Western, so no shooting. They'll inbound with 3:27 left in regulation and a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
The Western Kentucky foul, number 10, Jeff Rogers, that's his first,
That tells you about all you need to know about this game.
And just think of I call them fast breaks when you beat the pressure from the inbounds and go to the basket. So they've had equal or great opportunities going to the hole. I mean, not the defense hasn't bounced before in the second tier.
Jackson, the twisting two.
Ray Jackson.
Even in the half court now, they're getting easy baskets from players all alone right underneath.
Not staying at home. NJ got free the trip before, if you recall.
Michigan by 7 as we approach 3 minutes remaining. Jackson fouled. On the way up, he'll shoot 2. And that's the 10th team foul in Michigan, so Western will shoot 2 the rest of the way. 2:56 remaining.
So they've been together a long time, searching one another out. King to Jackson, and even there, Ray tries to make it a little harder. And absent is that half-court D recognition by Western Kentucky.
Deion Jackson at the line for Western Kentucky.
2 shots for Deion Jackson. The foul was on Njai, his 4th. And it rattles out. Kansas awaits the winner of this game. They'll play Saturday night here in Dayton at 4:50 Saturday afternoon. It's Miami of Ohio, the upset winner over Arizona against Virginia. Didn't get the bounce on either free throw, but there's Hall, and he was fouled.
Just out scrapping, out hustling. That was up for grabs. A lot of heart by Darius Hall pursuing the basketball. You've got to be ready on a free throw. Squeeze the guy, step to the basketball.
And that's 4 fouls now on Maurice Taylor. And Steve Fisher has watched in succession. Njai, Killick 4, and now Taylor with 4 as well.
Now Steve's going to start looking like me with the way the team was up and down all this season.
Darius Hall, the shooter, made the first of 2. Tomorrow, the action begins at 12:15 Eastern Time. Florida and Iowa State, followed by a game some of you will see. Southern Illinois at Syracuse at 12:25. Stanford and UNC Charlotte at 12:30. 2 free throws by Hall. He's replaced by Fralix. 2:54 left. Michigan leads by 5.
And this gives them a little more speed, obviously, shooting. But balancing the floor has been a problem. Fralix in the back, so if they beat the pressure and go to the goal, they're liable to get an easy one or a follow because Fralix on the floor playing Taylor right now. And here he comes with a late trap.
And they had a chance to attack the bucket, but with the clock down to 2:40 and with a 5-point lead, Michigan elects to run some time.
They got to be solid, though. Keep running their offense and get a good look. They should make a move right now.
10 on the shot clock.
Don't put pressure on this jumper.
Jackson with 26, 1 shy of his career high 27 back in January against St. John's. That's an offensive foul.
And that's what happens when you run the clock down to the end. You've got to get into your action. The charge at the end. Solid defensive performance. And there's that right arm, the strong discard. Oh, run your stuff and get a good one.
First foul in the game on Jackson. Western Kentucky down 5.
This end Robinson's got to do some damage. Think offense at this point of the game, Chris.
1-on-1, they cleared out part of the floor, and that's a goaltend.
Not necessary either.
That looked like it was going to be short from our angle, and Njai went up and goaltended.
On the way, maybe the first couple of minutes you give one of those messages, but this one, I think you're right. That's coming up a little bit short.
Yeah, maybe down on the rim. Might have bounced in, you never know. But it's a 3-point game. Michigan 67, Western Kentucky 64. Not long ago, Michigan led by 14. We're under 2 minutes remaining at 1:58. The foul for Western Kentucky was on Darren Horn, his 4th, and that foul gets Western to the limit. 1-and-1 opportunity upcoming for Maktar Njai of Michigan. Darius Hall returns, replacing Michael Fralix.
Stop the clock, put a an average free throw shooter on the line.
1-1, Njai made the first. The winner of this game meets Kansas here Saturday night. The other second-round game here in Dayton on Saturday is Miami of Ohio against Virginia. Njai, a 53% free throw shooter for the year, made 2 big ones. 5-point lead for the Wolverines with under 2 to go. Rogers. Hall, count it!
All because of the ability to bounce and a smile on Jeff Rogers. You mentioned the championship game, how tough he was. Well, it continues this evening. Good use of the bounce, and then sliding into position as well. And the defense attacks, they just don't step in front. As Darius able to convert and then step to the line.
And I would ask, where was the foul? They called it on Conlon, but it looked like he swiped at him without getting him. In any event, a 3-point play to make it a 2-point game with 1:49 left. Njai. Jackson, a nice catch of a tough pass that was a bit behind him. King, Jackson, Njai, Taylor, and Conlon, the fivesome for Michigan. 13 on the shot clock.
Got to get into it right now.
King, bringing up by Rogers. Nearly threw it over the head of Jackson. Jackson, no good. Njai, a huge rebound, and a fresh 35 on the shot clock. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Michigan with a 2-point lead.
And how smart was he to kick it back out and use the clock?
1 minute remaining in regulation.
A minute to play. 18 on the shot clock. Michigan 69, Western Kentucky 67.
Now, you don't want to foul for Western Kentucky. Just play solid and rebound at the end.
Conlon, long 3. Rebound, Hall. Rogers. Gets it foul.
Well, how to get it back, huh? Matt furious, but beautiful positioning. You can be moving. Tell you what, on the replay, huh?
Oh, boy.
I think he got the little shoulder dip.
Shuffling over. Questionable call at best.
Well, live, I thought it was a good one, so not going to criticize.
So did James Armstrong. And the quick foul with 38.7 left. When you think back to the bucket waved off at the end of the first half. An offensive basket interference call against Western Kentucky. It looked to be a bad call. They'd like to have those 2 points now, obviously. Njai going to the line. The 53% free throw shooter made 2 seconds ago. This is a 1-and-1. Only 9 team fouls on Western. It was the 3rd personal on Chris Robinson. Only 1 timeout left for Western. Arrow points to Michigan. 1-and-1. First one, no good. Jackson, the rebound. And the crowd thought he traveled as he ripped it away from the pile.
And they don't need it.
About 1 second difference between the game clock, which you see, and the shot clock. They come to trap King, and Horn fouled him. And that's 5 on Darren Horn.
Pretty good reaction by Western Kentucky trying to give the foul and lengthen the game. But once again, Ray Jackson. And just prior to that, we had that shot of Steve Fisher talking to Jackson. I don't think he suggested, hey, get in there and get a rebound. But the reaction, Njai had made a couple this time, unable to convert. But terrific slip.
Wow.
Ooh.
I thought he walked, as we noted at the time, and it certainly looked like he did there as well, pulling the ball away from the pile. Jackson got away with it. Horn is fouled out. He hopes this will not be the last game of his career. He's a senior from Lexington, Kentucky, all-conference player this year, and a terrific student, 3.7 grade point average, academic All-American. And a 3-point threat if they need one, who's out of the game now for Western Kentucky with 24.3 seconds remaining. Jimmy King will be the shooter, and he'll have 2 because that was the 10th team foul this half on Western Kentucky.
And it gives Matt Cullen a good opportunity to let Jimmy King relax, think a little bit out there. If anything, you love your senior on the free throw line, around 68%.
Tremendous night from Jimmy King. Perhaps the best game of his career. 20 points, 13 rebounds, a career high, 8 assists, tying his career high. 4 out of 6 from the line.
And he liked his stroke. Got to get the legs in it now. Western Kentucky must seal off. Everybody's got to capture the rebound. The important aspect is have control of the basketball. And they got that timeout, and that just signal if you catch it, call it.
The second is good. 3-point lead for the Wolverines with 24 seconds remaining. Fralix is the man to look at for a three-pointer. Robinson can drain them as well. No timeout. They run a play and go for a 2, and Rogers got his own rebound.
Got to shoot it.
Fralix for 3 with a tie.
What a great give back to Fralick, huh? Understanding as after Rogers took the first one, the kick back out by Hall.
Timeout Michigan. They'll try to set up a... It's gone. Only fitting that the fourth and final game of the day here in Dayton should go this way. That timeout was called by Western Kentucky after they got the 3 from Fralix to tie it. So Michigan has 2 left. Western Kentucky doesn't have any. That's an interesting timeout by the Hilltoppers.
Well, I think what he wants to do is address defensively how they're going to handle it. If it gets into a free flow, he was, I'm sure, concerned about the dribble penetration of King. The big get the ball, basketball up into your offense. I think King's got to handle it. They don't have a good, solid inside game, so beat the timeline, give it to King, let him create, or Jackson running off one of those post bumps for a turnaround jumper or a dribble to the goal.
Michigan led 59-45, a 14-point lead with 8:25 left. Now with 9 seconds remaining, Western Kentucky has come all the way back. Jackson's 12 of 18 from the floor tonight, and King is 7 of 10. They have truly been the Fab 2 tonight.
And they still have the timeout to play with, too, if they get it up over the half-court line and then want to call the other one.
Or if they can't get it in, but they do to Taylor. Taylor, Jackson, King in, Giant Conlon on the floor. Jackson lost the dribble. Western's ball with a 1.5 seconds left, and they have no timeouts.
Got to get something near half-court. They don't want to turn it over, give Michigan the ball back on the baseline.
And Jackson cannot run the baseline. A factor he needs to remember. Baston back in, and Conlon goes out for Michigan. A 1.5 seconds remaining. They put Baston on the ball. Jackson, long pass. Taylor, good at the goal, but it's in the third row. And we'll have overtime in Dayton.
That's what we came to Dayton for, one of these. Oh, and Fralick, the first guy you mentioned, the three-point shooter late, was Fralick. The second one was Robinson. Rogers at first went to the goal for the 2, didn't get it, was smart enough to come back out, then he started trying, and the kick around got Western all even. And not a bad job now that you look back at the timeout, since they were prepared for exactly what Michigan wanted to run.
Heading for overtime. Tied at 70. And you mentioned, and I think you made a great point about Rogers. With that much time left, a 2 isn't a bad play.
Then foul, stop the clock. But this is how smart he was. He got his own, kicked it out. Fralick didn't have a good one, but the kick back out by Hall enabled him to knock it down. Joy in Bowling Green. Bobby Roscoe played down there when I was in school. They had a heck of a program there with Eddie Diddle. It continues. Gene Cady, Clem Haskins, Ralph Willard, and the man of the hour right there, along with Mac Cullen.
That was the third 3 of the night for Fralix, giving him 150 for his career, and he now owns the school record all by himself. Moved out of the tie with Roland Shelton, who played at Western in the late 80s.
No, you weren't in any hurry.
No. And we're going to be here to bring in St. Patrick's Day, it appears.
Oh, Dayton is safe.
We should warn the folks at CBS. They need to do something because McDonough and Raftery are out of here at the stroke of midnight on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, you're on your own. This is too much fun.
You're right. Why would you ever want to leave this? Overtime records, 2-0 for Michigan this year and 0-1 for Western Kentucky. And that loss for Western Kentucky was in the first game of the year at Jacksonville. Matt Kilcullen had a homecoming to his former team. 5 minutes of overtime.
And the double continues. They dribble it out.
And now the foul situation is more important. Western will have to play the overtime without Horn, who's fouled out. And there are several players on each side with 4 fouls. Robinson thought he was fouled. It came up well short.
I think Ray Jackson may have gotten a piece. Pretty good defending.
Baston, Jackson, and Taylor on the floor for Michigan. Robinson, Hall, Rogers, Jackson, and Fralix open the extra session for Western.
And they tried to post King up on Rogers.
Taylor, all kinds of fakes. Couldn't shed Jackson. 8 on the shot clock. King the miss. Baston got a hand on it, but it was Robinson who batted it ahead. Fralix the bounce pass to Hall.
What a run by Hall. He never stopped sprinting. And a great acknowledgement by Fralix. First the 3, and then the assist.
.340 left in overtime. That was the first bucket of the extra session.
And Fralix now has to contest with Conlon. His penetration.
Michigan half-court offense stagnant here. King had to force a shot up under 10 on the shot clock on the last possession. Now they're at 5. Jackson the bounce to the goal. Rebound King. And a fresh 35. Conlon. That's not the time for the look away, flip out to the wing.
I was just so impressed with the running of the floor by Darius Hall. Fralix on the money with a very catchable pass and then the completion. Real solid end of the game by Michael.
It sounds so trite to say, and you hear it all the time. Darius Hall's just happy to be here, but he was in that terrible Amtrak train crash in Batavia, New York over the summer, and he told us he was very fortunate to come away with his life.
They're obviously trying to slide down with Conlon. Switching the exchanges.
10 on the shot clock. Only 1 basket here in overtime by Western Kentucky. With 3 on the shot clock, Robinson scores after the drive.
Has not gone to the goal much, but what a time. Take advantage with that dribble.
Western Kentucky looked like they were on the way out with 8.5 minutes remaining, down by 14. Now they lead by 4 in overtime.
A little disorganized right now. Trying to get a little screen across to get Baston. What a discard by Hall on the box.
King stripped. Fralix hit the floor. 2 minutes left in overtime. The lob. Hall!
What a gamble. And it worked.
He didn't control it. He was fortunate. It just clanged off his hands and dropped through. Timeout, Michigan.
Of the game, he made that 3, the great pass to Hall, and then this kick-out pass, Rogers, and as you noted, didn't really catch it. They didn't need it, and back live, a quick opportunity for King.
King didn't get the bounce. Michigan still has not scored in overtime. They're 0 of 3 from the field. They've turned it over twice, and Rogers was injured. He's back on his feet. With 1:31 left in overtime, Michigan down 6. As you look at the early lineup tomorrow, it gets started at 12:15 with the tip of Florida and Iowa State. Last year in the first round of the Midwest in Wichita, Michigan was taken overtime by Pepperdine. They actually survived the last-second Pepperdine shot to win in regulation and then beat Pepperdine in OT 78-74. But if they're going to pull this one out, this needs to turn around in a hurry.
Needs something off this press.
Fralick's double team. Got it through. And now the numbers. Rogers was pointing like he wanted a lob. I really don't think he did. And Njai got the rebound, but was called for the foul. And he's out of the game with 5 personals.
And he's got to be careful, too. He's right next to James Armstrong. Fortunately, he's just looking and moves on.
Ten points, 8 rebounds for Maktar Njai, the sophomore who started out at Wake Forest, but then came to Michigan. And Western Kentucky shooting 2. With Darius Hall at the line.
And not a good free throw shooter either. 51%. You got to be ready if you're Michigan. Right now, 2-possession game, depending on what he does.
He's 3 out of 4 from the line tonight with that miss. Western Kentucky a timeout. Michigan has 2. 2 shots on every foul the rest of the way. The arrow still points for the Wolverines with 1:22 left in overtime. 1 out of 2 for Darius Hall, the senior from Detroit.
Need a quick deuce or a dribble penetration kick out for the 3. But they got to do it quickly. And right now you can see the time being delayed.
And a holding foul away from the ball called against Jeff Rogers. That'll put Dugan Fife at the line. And
why?
That's exactly what Matt Kilcullen is asking Jeff Rogers. Why in the world would you stop the clock and put them on the line with a chance to get points without the clock moving?
They were in trouble out there, Sean. You don't contribute to the opponent. Got to think all the time.
Fife will shoot 2. He has not scored tonight. Doesn't go to the line much. 19 of 26 in the regular season. That's 73%. He missed the first. They're still scoreless in overtime.
Number 30, Matthew Madison, back on your lineup for Michigan. Replacing Maurice Taylor.
Michigan's got to be prepared, whether to make or to miss, to lengthen this game.
He missed both. Rebound, Fralick.
Oh, they got to come up and play.
They drop back to half court, and the clock ticks.
Give it.
Down to a minute in overtime. And King is called for his 4th foul. Western Kentucky in the tournament for the 3rd straight year. A surprise Sweet 16 team 2 years ago. Ousted in the first round by Texas last year. And looking to make it back to the 2nd round with a win here tonight over Michigan. They're a minute away from it if they can protect with a 7-point lead.
And Matt Kilcullen has everybody off the line. You don't want to tempt your players to get in over the top, stop the clock. And I'm sure he's addressed the little nickel dime fouls too. Don't give it up.
Rogers missed the first. Western Kentucky has researched it back to the late 70s. They've discovered he's the most productive non-starter at Western. At least back to the late 70s, averaging almost 10 points and 4 rebounds per game, has 38 steals.
That was a beautiful shot of the team parade there, wasn't it?
It sure was.
That was Horn.
King for 3. They're still scoreless in overtime. He runs it down. King and Jackson have been terrific, but if this is the end of the Fab era tonight, it won't be because they didn't play well. Rogers, King rejected it, and they call it a goaltend.
I love that effort, though, by King. If you're going to go out with a lot of pizzazz. Terrific reaction by one of the 2.
Conlon, desperation 3. King, they let him go to the goal. Timeout Michigan. 29.4 seconds remaining. Western Kentucky by 8. Back for the finish in a moment.
Timeout Michigan.
Michigan went 7 minutes and 54 seconds without a field goal. Before that bucket by Jimmy King gave them their first points in overtime. Western Kentucky by 8, 29.4 remaining. Robinson fouled by Baston, and that's 4 on Maceo. We mentioned if this is the end of the Fab era, if you will, at Michigan. Jackson and King, the only remaining 2 from the Fab Five that started out 4 years ago. What a finish for Ray Jackson and Jimmy King. Jackson tonight, 26 points and 3 rebounds. And King, 23 points, tying his season high. 16 rebounds, a career high. 8 assists, tying his season high. Robinson made the first. Only fitting that they should be our Chevrolet players of the game for Michigan. And Michael Fralick, who had the big 3 to tie it at 70 with 9 seconds to go in regulation, the player of the game for Western Kentucky.
And you think of this Michigan team all year long. Now, the seniors played well today, and the younger guys didn't have the coordination with them, and it happened during the year where the seniors might not have a good game. It was just one of those seasons out of balance during the course of the year.
Baston tipped it in. Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day from all of us at CBS Sports. It's gone to St. Patrick's Day in the Eastern Time Zone. And we know one Irishman from the Bronx who's going to enjoy the holiday. Matt Kilcullen, his Western Kentucky Hilltoppers move to the second round. They'll play Kansas here Saturday night in Dayton, following the game at 4:50 Eastern Time here between Miami of Ohio and Virginia.
I know this will surprise you. Matty used to bartend at a place in the Bronx, the Jolly Tinker. A fine little place to have a little spot. And I'm sure they'll be joyous in that establishment.
They'll be toasting their buddy's victory here tonight. Ray Jackson with the final bucket of his career. Western Kentucky has defeated Michigan 82-76 the final. The Hilltoppers now 27-3 for Coach Kilcullen. And King and Jackson have their careers come to an end, but they should leave feeling very proud about the way they played tonight.
Sensational. When they looked like they were on the ropes, good, solid effort. Changed. They were passive. Then they went after them again, got back to their philosophy. The full court pressure, magnificent effort, and the end of an era, too, in college basketball with the 2 seniors leaving Michigan.
And in all likelihood, we'll never see anything like the Fab Five again. It dwindled to the Fab Two this year. And this season ends at Michigan at 17-14. We'll join Jim Nance in the studio in a moment.